Testing, 1, 2. Good. Hi, I'm Brinson from CMNTMusic, and this is, I guess, my genius autocorrect. No, that's wired autocorrect interview. This is gonna be, I guess, just an interview. Yeah. Okay, so the idea behind this album, the name of the album, This Is Not a Test, is that we put out this. We worked really hard on this for a couple years, and this is the first album that has songs on it that we're proud to kind of say this is our music. Beforehand, we would put out some stuff and be like, we're just testing out some new effects that we got, or we're just testing out some new techniques or whatever. You know, it's always just testing out something, because we were never really confident enough to say, hey, we're really proud of this, we worked hard on it, and now this is our thing. So this is not a test, because this is the first body of work that we're really proud of, that we have. You know, again, there's obviously older songs on the album that are a couple years old that are definitely not as well done or produced as some of the newer ones. But largely, you know, we are proud of the work we put into it. We're really thankful for the opportunity we've been given to make this music. So yeah, that's kind of why it's called This Is Not a Test. Okay, yeah. So one of the songs on the album, I Don't, is one of my favorites, because I was scrolling through my sample library, and my sample library, not laboratory, not the same thing. And what I came across was that initial guitar loop. That bum, ba, ba, da, bum. I can't remember the exact key, but it sounded very Post Malone, like Circles by Post Malone. I was like, ooh, that sounds really cool. And so I made out a whole beat for it. And then I wrote some words that I think I wrote down in my song notebook. Like, I don't was one of like the things. But regardless, it was like in my head, I was just noticing like certain, I remember seeing a video on YouTube. It was like a joke video about like seeing my teenagers come out of the room for the first time of the day, and they're both on their phones. They're like little middle school kids. And I was like, these are like sixth graders that are living in their room on their phones, separate from their families. And I've been to people's, houses where like they live in their room, they go out to eat, and they go back to their room, and their room is where they spend all their time. And I don't really spend a ton of my time in my room. I'm usually in my studio over there. But what it came to me, and I realized that people are on their phones all the time, and people are antisocial. And even then, for me, like as an introvert, there's some stuff that like sometimes I feel out inside, I'm like, I just don't want to be here. I'm like scared I'm going to say the wrong thing or what have you. And so I Don't was kind of written for, one, the Gen Z people who are just kind of stuck in their room and they've gotten so attached to their phone, they don't know how to be social anymore. And so they're scared. They don't want to come out of their room or come downstairs. They just kind of want to stay in their cozy little room with their phone and live their life and die. It's like, it's a sad existence. And so that's kind of what the song is for, is like kind of voicing those feelings that like, hey, I need help. Because I can't bring myself to come downstairs. I can't bring myself to interact with other people. I just don't even want to be seen at all. And one of my favorite lines in that song is, I don't throw parties because I'm scared no one will show. Because that's like a thing I've had happen, and that's a thing that I think a lot of people are afraid of happening. Like, you don't want to like put yourself out there because that fear of rejection, that fear of people not like returning your energy in relationships and friendships, just in conversations even. It's like sometimes you just don't want to put yourself out there and you're scared that they won't return energy, and that's why you don't. So that's one of my favorite lines of that song. But yeah, that's part of I Don't. That's one of my favorites for sure. Yeah, okay, yeah. So She Makes Me Bad has been probably some of my friends' favorites. Like, whenever I show anybody the album, they love She Makes Me Bad. And so that song actually was written as a joke. Really funny, actually. So I had written down in my songbook the line She Makes Me Bad, but in my head, it was about like someone who's like making you go out and do bad things. You know, someone who's having a negative influence on your life, which is a valid point, and you know, someday I might make a song about that. But I found that really cool, again, intro electric guitar riff, and I threw some very boom bappy type stuff on there. And it became this whole production thing, and the little bridge was just kind of like, I loved the bass sound that I found. It was like boom, bah, bah, or something like that, and I just played it over and over. I figured it'd be just a cool bridge that I just write some like rap type lyrics over. I wasn't really sure what I was gonna do with it yet. But I was kind of like, I asked Caden to come in, and he was like, what if, because I needed help with words, because I didn't know what to say. And we were just going through my song idea, and he's like, ooh, she makes me bad, I like that. And I was like, well, that's about someone making you do bad things. And he's like, wait, what if we change it, flip it? And, you know, like, ooh, that's bad, you know, like, as in good. And I was like, oh my gosh, she makes me bad. And then it kind of became this cool anthem of like, I'm with this person that's so cool. By default, it makes me cool if they're willing to spend time with me. So, super cool idea. That I was like, this song fits perfectly for it. It has just like a cool bad boy type feel. I was loving. So it just made complete sense. So we went in and we wrote the chorus first, if I remember correctly. And you know, Kim was super instrumental in writing that. He came up with most of the words for it. It was great. And then so we kind of took some breaks and stuff, and you know, eventually the verses were written. And I decided to go ahead and get started recording it because I was like, I really like this song. I want to go ahead and get it going. So what I did was I went in and recorded the verse, the chorus, and second verse. And then because the way I was recording it, I was just like, I'm just going to let it run through. I was just, as a joke, I was like, I didn't know what to say, but I needed to keep myself also kind of in time with the beat for the chorus. So I just sang like the main line over and over, she makes me bad. I was just kind of saying it. Again, I had to record it that way a couple times. And so over the progression of that, and eventually I was kind of, it was like a studio joke. It was like, she makes me bad, and I was kind of like turning it into a rock song because of the electric guitar. I was like, why not just do like the screamy type rock? And so if you listen to it, like the act, I just threw a lot of distortion on it because I got one take that was like just kind of the funniest. But if you listen, I don't actually do the screaming type vocal at the end. I just, she makes me bad, she makes me. I just kind of like twist my voice a little bit rather than actually scream it, which is, again, kind of funny. Again, because the whole idea of the song, it was a joke. It was like, why don't we just make something fun? It's just supposed to be a fun song. People really found that, so that's really cool. Again, a lot of lines in that song are things that are in our heads, you know, something that would make you cool. Like, for example, the Friday Night Downtown Lights, they pretty but she doesn't like the way they suck you in. That line is kind of talking about someone who isn't necessarily always going downtown to party, who isn't necessarily always that person. Like, you think it's you know, cool to watch, but being a part of that isn't necessarily something they're interested in. And that would make you cool because you aren't following along with the crowd who does that all the time. So that's my favorite line of that song probably, and that's why it's Buddy's favorite song. It has a really cool beat. Yeah. Okay, let me think. One more song I can talk about. Okay, here's one. Last Song. The last song on that album, aptly titled Last Song. Again, kind of a jokey song. What we wanted to do was have, because the entire album has like a theme and messaging, we kind of wanted to speak directly to the listener, not talking about something, but actually talking to the listener. Like, hey, this is the last song, but we're not done. And we have a lot more coming that we're working on. And we wanted to have fun with it. Again, the whole idea of the song, very Kid Laroi was a big inspiration for that one, because a lot of his songs, like when you listen to him, he has like really singing stuff, but there's no breaths. It's like going straight through. So the verses were very structured that way, where it's like to perform it would be difficult, to say the least. I think it could be done live, but it would be hard. And to that end, that song has a lot of references to our, childhood, different, TV shows we'd watch growing up. Again, it's kind of more like a end of an era, an end of like we're growing up. Who are we as an artist? Until like, okay, we've started to define our sound a little bit, and we're growing up. We're in college now. We're ready to kind of make some more bold moves with our music and change some things. And we aren't gonna change who we are as artists, but we might do a little bit of different sound. We aren't going away, but we might not sound the same as we have for the past couple years. We might, next project sneak peek is there's 2 different things we're working on right now. One is a country like album or EP, something like that. We're working on some country stuff, which is gonna be super, super cool. We're really excited to delve into that a little bit deeper after Woulda, Shoulda, Coulda, our first like real country-ish song. And then also we're considering working on some worship music too. That again in the works. We're still working on that, and we're gonna try to do some collaborations along with that. But so last song we have reference to a lot of shows we used to watch as a kid. Backyardigans, Super Y, that kind of thing. One interesting thing about that song is that we reference it's not all just a cyber chase, which again, all these lines are double entendres. Like they mean each line means 2 things. And so with the Super Y, no, not Super Y, the cyber chase line, it's not all just a cyber chase. We're not all just, we as artists, we aren't chasing clout. We're chasing the music and what that is, and we really want to, we aren't necessarily trying to get clout. We're trying to make music the way we want to, and hopefully y'all like it. And so there's that one thing, but then also there's the reference to Cyber Chase, the TV show, which growing up, we didn't actually watch a ton. I think because it kind of weirded us out in some odd way. I don't know. But that's that song. Yeah. So, in the future, I'll go on that more. In the future, we're definitely still going to keep making music. As college students, we have a great opportunity right now to work on our craft, grow as musicians and as artists and as people. And so with that, we're gonna grow our genre range. I mean, we already kind of define ourselves as genreless because we do absolutely whatever we want musically, because we do really like so many different types of music. But we do kind of want to focus a little bit more on some country stuff. Not just because that's becoming popular, but because we've always been big fans of country and different things you can do with that genre. So we have a couple things coming out at some point soon with country and with different things like that, because we were really excited to kind of dive into that genre a little bit. But yeah, there's that, there's the worship stuff. And again, we have so many songs written that have not seen the light of day yet, because one, we want to make sure we do them justice, and if we can't do them justice, we wait. So there's definitely easily 50 to 100 songs that have been written but have not been produced or recorded yet, because we want to make sure we do them right. So again, there's that. And then also, we're working on the music video for She Makes Me Bad. That's going to be coming out when we shoot that and edit it and film it, get that done. It's not done yet, but plans are being made, locations have been scouted. So yeah, that's coming. That's going to be in the works very, very soon. Hopefully within the next couple weeks, we'll be starting filming that. It's super fun. Oh, yeah, I can talk a little bit more about that. So the Find Your Name music video, really enjoyed that. That was fun to shoot. I love working with Twin Frame. There's some friends from high school that they've grown so much in their cinematic stuff. It's unbelievable. They are so good now. I didn't even know they were into that. But then after I got out of high school and was doing college, I saw that they had started doing stuff. I was like, that's sick. So I got them to shoot the first music video, and they had some great ideas. I've loved the premise of the first music video. Again, the song, if you go back to the song, it's about someone kind of going crazy because they've seen someone, but again, it goes back to some of the theme of the album of anxiety, not wanting to put yourself out there, the fear of rejection. And what that ended up being is a really cool song about someone who wasn't able to have the gumption to ask to talk to someone and find their name out, but they tried to look for it, via who knows what, through friends, like going around and see if they could find out their schedule and their major, whatever. It's like they're going insane trying to find out who this person is, but they can't find him again, and it's just like confusing, So they start going insane, and that's the story of the song. And so the music video, I like to say, is about that. Someone slowly goes insane. Originally, I don't know if that was the idea exactly, but the way it was presented ended up being kind of like I was going insane. So I say that it's about someone going insane because if you look progressively, like obviously the person in the beginning of the video is kind of laying on their bed, like they didn't, it's dark out, so they're waking up in the middle of the night, and they're setting their alarm for that, which is weird. And they just are they're searching, they don't know what to do, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was so fun working with them. And again, they're gonna be the guys for the next video too, because they did so well, and we're gonna, we have some great plans for this, so it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be, again, She Makes Me Bad is the song. It's gonna be very summery vibes. Gonna be super fun. So hope you enjoy that when it comes out. But yeah, we're working on that. That's gonna be coming in the next couple weeks. So yeah, it's like exciting. We're excited about it. Love that song. I love that song so much. It's one of my favorites. I have it saved on my Spotify. When I save a song that I do, that's really cool. But oh yeah, what do I mean by that? Okay, so when I say like when I have something saved, that means that it's really good. Because for me, because I produce all the music we record, at least right now, it has a little bit different vibe for me. It hits different when the song comes out, because for me, I know every single little piece, right? When I listen to a random song on the radio, it changes a little bit the way you perceive it, because again, if you weren't behind the scenes, you don't know all the different work and all the different tracks that are in there. Like, you might not notice a certain harmony because you're listening to the overall picture. But for me, when you produce a song, you start picking apart different pieces. Like, ooh, I remember recording that. I wish I'd hit that a little bit differently. I shouldn't have released this because I did not auto-tune that correctly, or whatever. And everyone uses auto-tune, so don't worry about that. But it's part of the whole thing, is like figuring out what you like when you're making it, because afterwards it's not going to hit the same. So you have to, in the process, build it out in the way that you think works the best. Because again, listening to a song after the fact, after producing it, it hits different, and good in some ways, because if it's a story that you are really important to you, that it can hit better in some ways. But in other times, it's not something that's exactly applicable to you, because a lot of our songs, believe it or not, are not about real situations. It's about imaginary situations that we've just come up with. Some of them are very real. Some of them are very real, but a lot of them are not. A lot of them are just made up stories. So, especially when it's like that, it's a cool song that you can vibe to, but it doesn't necessarily hit the same as it would for other people. And part of that is just not listening to it for a while and coming back later. But yeah, so definitely it hits different if you're part of the production process, for sure. So it's difficult sometimes as an artist. Like, if you hear like bigger artists talk about like, no, I don't love this song or whatever, and everyone loves it, it just because they're on the other end of it, and so it doesn't hit the same for them. But yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So thank you for watching this interview. I don't know if it's genius or wired autocorrect or whatever it is, but whatever this interview is, thanks so much for watching. Super glad you cared enough to watch it. We're super excited for stuff we have coming in the future. If you haven't already, please like and follow all of our content. Streams, please. We love the streams. Yeah, if we ever go on a tour, you can look at our website, CMNTMusic.com. A huge shout out, thank you to our record label, One Name Records, for supporting us through all this. And yeah, we will see you soon.